everybody. Welcome to Jenice's Kitchen at Nutmeg TV. Today, as you can see, we're doing the Irish theme because it's St. Patrick's Day, and we're all dressed ready to go for our St. Patty's party.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. This is Maggie. She was here last year, and so she's going to be my sous chef for however many times she wants. But let me tell you what we're doing today. Keeping with the Irish theme, earlier this morning, I got up at 5 o'clock. I made Irish beef stew. And because the stew meat, it has to cook for hours and hours, simmer. You know, I used the beef stock, and it simmered for like 3 or 4 hours. So hopefully the steak is, the meat is going to be tender enough. But it's the best I can do. I mean, and then I have here potatoes and carrots. I par-cook those. And that way, when we're ready to eat, everything is already cooked. And so what we're doing is, when everything is in here, we have some stories to tell about the Irish folks. And so let's get started. Okay, so right here, Maggie, if you'll open that up. And we're going to add those in. And what you can do is
potatoes.
Scoot on over. And I'm going to open this up. So we're going to add in, everything's nice and soft, so we don't have to worry about hard potatoes or carrots. And the reason why she's spooning it in is because it'll splatter all over the place and all over my apron. And I wouldn't want that.
Oh, yes. You wouldn't want that.
That's just water. I think it's drying water. And so I'm going to be talking about Giant's Causeway, which is I found to be very fascinating. It's an Irish tale. And this was been told by many Irish folklore. And it's been around for thousands of years, this story. And so what we're doing here is when she finishes that, okay, I think now we can just kind of,
okay,
we'll do this. I'll get to this story in a minute. Okay?
Yep.
Now you can take that and put it in the dish pan.
All right.
All right. And I got my trusty. Yeah, there we go. Put that right there. Oh boy, look at that. We really filled that up, didn't we? Perfect. I know my crock pot. And I decided I have these big, huge, heavy-duty stainless steel pots. And they're wonderful because they last forever. These my big pots, I have the big lobster one, but I have all different sizes. They will probably outlive me, and I will inherit those to my daughter. I have so many dishes. I'm really lucky to have a walk-in pantry, and that's what started this whole thing. And so I am going to add in. Okay, the Irish folks, they like the maltiness to their Irish beef stew. So this is some ale. I'm going to put this in. Oh, it's getting full. Okay. Okay, we've got this on high. Can you smell it? Okay. And then I have some cooking wine. I may not use all that. It's pretty, okay, that's good enough. And you can put that in there too, so that's fine. And so I'm just going to stir this up, and we're going to get going on our stories. Okay. This is called Giant's Causeway. The Irish guy, his name is Fionn Mac Camahill, but from the rest of the story, I'm just going to say Fionn. He was a famous giant, and the tale has it that the battle is with the Scottish Irish, and he has no idea how big the Scottish giant is. So one day, a messenger was sent by the Scottish giant to challenge the Irish giant to a battle to prove he was the bigger and stronger than the Irish giant. So Fionn planned his Irish cunning tactics by making his way to Scotland by breaking up huge chunks of land and created a path to reach Scotland. And now it's known as Giant's Causeway. That's the legend of this story. At the same time, the messenger told the fierce Scottish giant. When Fionn reached Scotland, his opponent, even from a distance, was huge. Along the shore, the Scottish giant decided to grab 40 weeks and wound up falling asleep. So Fionn came up with a cunning plan to terrify the Scottish giant, and he retreated back to Ireland. When Fionn arrived at his cottage in the hills of Ireland that he shared with his wife, Fionn told his wife the Scottish giant was on his way to do battle with him. The Scottish giant tore up shoreline and made a path that connected Scotland to Ireland, again, the Giant's Causeway. So, as the path to Ireland almost attended, Fionn's wife came up with a brilliant plan to save her husband. She used bedclothes and other material and sewed the giant baby clothes for Fionn to change into. She then had him step into a large cradle that was kept in the living room by the fire. Fionn huddled up in the cradle like a baby. The next morning at sunrise, a loud knock at the door. The wife answered the door, and in the door was this enormous Scottish giant named Benadonner. Benadonner? Something like that. He tore through the house, searched for the Irish giant Fionn. Then he caught sight of the cradle by the fire. He saw this huge baby nestled in the cradle that was monstrous. And he thought, oh, since this baby was huge, his father, Fionn, was even enormously larger. He made his excuses to the wife and escaped from Ireland, and as fast as he could, with his massive feet, back to Scotland. Nowadays, those visiting the Giant Causeway can get a glimpse of where Fionn first began his path to Scotland long ago. But they all lived happily ever after. Go ahead.
Oh, I just know a little bit. I was researching the Irish stew.
Okay, all right, okay, tell the folks.
Okay, so back in the 16th century, and we really don't know how the potato arrived in Ireland, but it did arrive in Ireland, and it quickly became part of the rural diet because potatoes grew so well in Ireland. So prior to the potato in their stew, they would often make their stews using whatever they had on hand. Okay. A lot of it was root vegetables, like maybe carrots, turnips. I'm not sure exactly what they had, but they used root vegetables along with other herbs. Yeah, yep. And they used whatever meat was available as well. So they used mutton or goat or probably even rabbit, whatever they had available.
What about lamb? Because lamb is a big thing.
Yep.
They have. My sister told me a story because she lives in Texas. My sister Donna was here last year, and then she's going to finish her story. she said, make sure when we're telling this Irish story that most of the lamb comes from Texas. They raise it and it's exported out.
Oh, really?
And I didn't know that. So a lot of the Ireland and a lot of the places that use lamb, not just Ireland, but all over the world, and a lot of, and you know, with Texas being so big, they have all this land. So go ahead.
So they grow a lot of lamb and mutton and
I don't know about mutton because, you know, Texas is all about, you know, their main staple is beans and meat.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Mostly Texans, they love their pinto beans. It's the pink bean. And so my mom, we grew up on pinto beans. They didn't use kidney beans or canela beans, which is the white bean. So that's what I grew up on, and I still today love pinto beans. But when I make chili, I use all three. I'll use the light red kidney beans, and I'll use the canela beans, and then I'll use a can of pinto beans. Do you have anything else on your story?
Yeah, as far as the stew goes, boiling was the preferred method to cook because it was easy. They could use an open fire or inside the home to warm the home. And it only involved one pot. So we cooks, we love to have one pot meals because it's less on the dishes.
What about the audience? You know.
Yeah, so anyway, boiling again was predominantly the way that they cooked their stew. And by the 17th and 18th century, potatoes were grown throughout Ireland. But then came, you know, we all know about the big famine in Ireland and the potato famine.
Yeah.
So by that point, millions of people were moving out because of the sickness. You know, a lot was starvation. They weren't getting the nutrition.
Yes.
They brought the memory of the stew with them, so it became part of the Irish heritage to be known as Irish stew. And it's been a symbol of culinary identity for Irish people. And now we're making Irish stew for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. So one thing I did, and I've never used leeks before. So I used them today and I chopped them up real fine. And when you, the Irish folks, that was probably one of their root vegetables. They probably just didn't say it, but I was doing some research, and leeks have this garlicky onion flavor to them. When I cut them up in small pieces. They practically disintegrated into the broth, but it brought out such a good flavor. I didn't put in any onions in the beef stew. I've been learn to draw at the Bristol Senior Center. So this year I decided to take a break because I'm doing double art classes for acrylic canvases. But when I was doing learn to sketch, I actually, once I did this in pencil, then I used colored pencils. I did this in class. And this is our teacher, Sandy. She passes out things like that. I got pretty close. What do you think?
I think they're adorable.
If you
they're
didn't
really
see,
cute.
If you didn't see this that she passed out, you're going like, oh wow.
And there's the leprechaun with the full glass of ale there.
Yeah, the ale. And then also, this is the, what would you call this?
Is he making stew? There he is stirring the cauldron.
Yeah. This is a leprechaun. Wouldn't you say that's a leprechaun?
Yeah, definitely a leprechaun.
And yeah, this guy is too. He just looks like he's longer because he's laying kind of sideways there. But these are one of my favorite drawings. I just love it. And so that's about all. The only, other than those two additives, it's with carrots and the potatoes. You saw that we put both of those in. And so now we're just waiting for all the ingredients. One thing about if you cook this, I cooked everything separate.
Now, how did you get your beef to be so tender?
Well, we're going to find out when we have some pretty soon. I'm just waiting. Right now, I want everything that we put in there to really start. They call it they're getting married right now.
Okay.
The food is getting married because they're all like
Blending their flavors
blending their
together.
flavors together.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed this crock pot. Last time I was here, we did with Jean and Sandy, we made the big pot of Italian sauce. And then I had one in my wok. This is the first time I brought this one, but I already had a sauce that I had made previously, and I froze it. I had like 3 full bags, and it filled up that wok all the way to the top. So in the second episode, I already had the pasta. I like using rotini because my sauce is very meaty. So we did that, and it was a lot of fun, and it was delicious. So with this crock pot, it was waiting for me on that episode. And as soon as I got home, I poured the whole thing out of the wok into the crock pot. I set the timer, and I went and got on my recliner. And I took a nap because it was being timed. I didn't have to worry about anything. And I woke up a few hours later, and it was done. Because the one we did in the middle, I just had the girls, okay, add this, add that, everything. And another thing, I always measure everything out. So when I go to assemble, it's already done. This is called a slur. This is your slur. It's a slurry. And so it will thicken up the broth. It's a very brothy soup. However, the stew meat did stay together. So you mix cornstarch with cold water, and you get a nice slurry going.
Take to thicken up.
Not much time. If it doesn't thicken very much, it won't change the flavor. And so when I cook it more, then it will, everything will thicken up.
So is there a reason why you use cornstarch instead of flour to thicken your soup?
Because you're making a slurry and it's instant.
Okay.
I'm afraid to just throw flour in that. I'm going to add more water. See, I like to have bottled water handy. You never know
yeah.
you need
Yep.
it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. When we get down to 2 minutes, we'll be good. We'll have it. Okay, so what else is on the agenda?
So cornstarch thickens quicker than flour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it mixes well with the cold water. It mixes much better. Okay, so that's about it.
Oh.
I think he's going to be coming in.
So you use cornstarch rather than flour because it's simpler.
Yeah.
And it's called a slurry?
It's slurry. It's called a slurry.
Okay.
Sounds good. All right, now I'm going to put this in here. And I'm going to close the lid for just a little bit. We have time.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
We'll wait for the 2-minute mark. I want to make sure that the slurry.
So this would be a great meal if you're having a group
look,
over.
It's thickening up already. But I'm going to put the lid down. What were you saying?
This is a good meal if you're going to have a crowd. If you're feeding a crowd, because it's one pot, you can make a lot. Keeps well. Yeah. Perfect for the time of year it is.
I cook enough for an army, and that's one of my things. My daughter says, Mom, especially the holidays, she says, Mom, Julie, like for Thanksgiving, I'll bring over a whole Thanksgiving feast, and it's not because of the host, like she does some gluten-free, but the things that I make for
Oh.
my daughter.
Well, there you go. Another reason to use cornstarch instead of flour is that you keep it gluten-free.
Well, not only that, everything in my walk-in pantry, I said a couple episodes ago, possibly last year, that I wiped out everything in my walk-in pantry and I had to start all over. And it was expensive. But I did it because my daughter's highly allergic to wheat, which is gluten. And so everything I do, baking and cooking, is all gluten-free. So when you use cornstarch, you're not making a mistake. And then other folks say this is the only thing there's no wheat in this beef stew. But if somebody was going to make this and my daughter was going to eat it, if they put in their flour, which is wheat, it'll send her to the emergency room. Now, recently, a couple weeks ago, my granddaughter, they did blood work because she was showing the same signs of being allergic to wheat. Come to find out after the x-ray, and then she had another procedure done last week, and she's highly allergic to wheat, highly allergic.
Oh, wow.
So she just came over Sunday, and she had her own lunch packed and everything, and and I says, well, would you like this? Because I'm not going to give her anything with wheat because I don't have any wheat.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, did you read the labels? And I go like, honey, I read all the labels.
Yes.
I do read the
It's
labels.
important.
I'm in the grocery store longer than anybody else because I'm reading labels. And I'll tell you one thing I put in this that I had to shop around for. Wound up using, I can't use Worcestershire sauce. It has wheat in it.
Wow.
It has wheat in it. And another thing about gluten-free is you have to use, they can't have barley or rye. So that's why they call it gluten-free instead of wheat-free. So my daughter, she corrected me and said, Mom, don't say wheat-free because it's, even my granddaughter, she says, Grandma, it's gluten-free. And I go, yes, it's gluten-free. It is. I'll make sure you get some meat. Yeah.
So how do you, with all the leftovers that you might have, what's a good way to keep the leftovers on stew?
Well, I freeze everything. I'm a freezeaholic.
Yeah.
My freezer, like the last couple of months, cooking here and it's kept me really busy. And I just take something out of my freezer. Just take it out of your freezer and there you go. And all I got to do is just heat it up in the microwave. So I'm going to get you started here. We got real spoons and I'm going to make myself one.
Oh, this looks really good.
And this napkin.
Yeah.
Again. Oh, wow. Now, the more this cooks, the better. I do have containers that, if I can get this down to halfway, I'm sure Nate, our camera guy, is going to want some. Now, normally the broth would be, it would be more thicker, but it's not, like I said, it's not going to change the flavor. What do you think? Did it change the flavor?
It's got very good flavor. What did you use for herbs in your stew?
Okay, I'm really big on Mrs. Dash because I have to be careful how much salt I intake. And I use that a lot. But see, I used regular, okay, yeah, the broth. I didn't even need my broth back there.
Well, I'm wondering what I'm tasting here. Do you have rosemary in here?
Thyme. It calls for thyme. Yeah, thyme. Thyme, and I use Mrs. Dash. I like my ground pepper. I use that. This has been fun. This is Jenice's Kitchen at Nutmeg TV.
Nick Augustino right here at the East Side Restaurant. We always have the complete full dinner menu. Knockwurst, bratwurst, sauerbraten, potato pancakes, red cabbage, rice pudding, cream pies, all the desserts that Germany had to offer. I always do something different. Yes, I do. I brought seafood to the beer garden at the East Side Restaurant. East Side Restaurant, your German destination restaurant in Connecticut. Tiki-taka, hoy, hoy, hoy!